Welcome to the Dad Code Podcast. This is DDS, where real fans come for real sports talk and no BS. We are your hosts, Blake Melton, Bradley Newberry, and Matthew Parker. Parker, what's going on, dude?
I hate football.
I think many Titans fans are all echoing that sentiment. But man, oh man, we'll get right into that. But how you doing, Bradley?
Dude, I'm just getting used to losing. Just another loss. But we will touch on the Jags. We'll touch on the Titans. We'll touch on some off-field shenanigans. But first, let's start with our hometown Tennessee Titans. Gentlemen, this team had to go on the road in a hostile environment. Everything was against them. Their back was against the wall. Who am I kidding? It was the Jets, for God's sakes. How did they lose this game?
Man, this is one of those games that it just seems like the Titans have one of these at least once a year where they go in and they're heavily favored. It's like, nobody's even thinking about it. It's always, last year it was Cincinnati. This year it's the Jets. Golly, guys, there is zero reason we should have lost this game. But, there were a lot of mistakes made. I'm not particularly happy with our play calling. We had some guys playing that were banged up. I've been the biggest, I've been picking on Taylor Lewan for a while, but guess what? He sucked it up and he played hurt today or Sunday, I guess. That's good. I like that. That's leadership right there. But then again, you still got to perform. Gave up 7 sacks? Oh, golly, that's tough. It was tough because it just made me feel like the way things are, if we don't get our receivers in the damn game, if we can't even get our receivers to travel to the game, Derrick Henry is literally our only hope.
Yeah. It was really disheartening to watch. I still thought the whole time at the end, I still thought they were going to win, and they should have. Ferkser dropped a absolutely perfect placement ball from Tannehill. Jonnu makes that pass, makes that catch. We win the game.
Mm-hmm.
The defensive line's got to get more pressure on a rookie. He carved us up. I think we probably should have seen it coming. If you would have gone back and looked at the Jets' earlier schedule, Zach Wilson was terrible coming into the game, but he played probably the top 3 defenses in the first 3 weeks. So he's not as bad as we think. You got to be able to stop Corey Davis. But the thing that this game came down to me, and I'm not trying to make excuses because we should have won either way, but man, we were freaking decimated. We talked about this in the preview pod, but guys, we're missing A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, your top 2 receivers. Your top guy out there is Nick Westbrook-Akina and Chester Rogers and freaking Josh Reynolds, who can't catch a ball. You're missing Bud Dupree, Caleb Farley, Hendon Hooker. You're missing your freaking punter. We have a backup punter shanking it out of bounds for 10 yards. And we still lost in overtime. We have one of those players back, maybe we win. But 7 sacks, awful. Lewan played okay. Saffold played amazing. He has the top-rated guard grade on PFF across the league. But you look at Quisenberry, who is up in...
Lord.
I just threw up when you said that.
Well, the first game, he gives up tons of sacks. Second game, we came back and talked about how great he was. He's back and forth. I think he gave up 3 or 4 of the sacks. But I've also been preaching this. I'm going along here, but every week we've had a stat. The first 3 weeks, the Titans have given up the quickest sack the first 3 weeks.
True.
This week that didn't happen. This week these sacks were longer. I think there were 2 in the top 20 of that list. Tannehill's got to get rid of the ball. I understand your receipt why he's holding on to it because Chester Rogers, who isn't on an NFL team usually, can't get open. So he's got to hold on and wait for it. But, dude, you just got to throw it away. I totally get it. These sacks are on Tannehill this game. And Derrick Henry just keeps on being Derrick Henry. Still should have won this.
Blake, think about it. Go ahead. Go ahead there, dude.
I was just going to pose the question to you, man, because you said it in the prediction show, and I kind of paused. I was like, when you said, did they use this game to rest? What better opponent to rest? I sure to goodness hope that all of these guys are hurt. I mean, I don't wish anyone to be hurt, but I hope that it wasn't a scenario where coach and GM think, we can just rest them up. Yeah. And then it bites them in the ass like this.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a bad look for sure if that was the case. And it may have been the case. I don't know. It could have just totally backfired on Vrabel. But I still go back to there were several instances in the game, second down and long, third down and long. I know the strategy with McNichols. And, hey, McNichols had a pretty good game. I'm not hating that. But my thing is I just felt like we were at a point late in that game where it was clear that going to overtime was going to be a bad idea. We needed to have our best player in the game, and we basically needed to say, Derrick Henry, we're going to win or we're going to lose with you on the field. And I question a lot of the play calling. You mentioned Jonnu not being there. Sure would have been nice to have a sure-handed tight end in the game. Would have been nice to have some more, offensive linemen. A lot of things are kind of coming to a head right now, and particularly whenever the big prize toy that we went out and bought with Julio Jones is not even present.
I think that they were hurt. I think if you're resting them, they make the trip. They play. You just don't play them. If you're resting, they're there to make the trip. The Titans should have won it. I mean, it was 41 minutes to 29 in time of possession. In in NFL, that's insane. The Titans ran 93 plays. That's 10 more than Tennessee, and they have the fastest offense in college.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of been the story of the year. They were 2 of 5 in the red zone. That's what this team has been over the last few years with Tannehill. Is they've been uber efficient, and they're just not doing that. It should not have been 9-0. It should have been a minimum of 17-0. They just got to finish in the red zone. I don't know if it's play calling. I don't know if it's lack of weapons. And the thing that does concern me the most is these sacks because Tannehill's going to get hurt. Right now, they're on the path to either break or come awful close to breaking David Carr 2002 76 sacks for the Texans.
That's a record I want to stay away from.
Yeah, that sucks. I hate it. I hate it for Tannehill. There's another side of the ball that we always have to talk about with the Titans. That's the defense. And I think Parker brought it up that coming into this game, the Jets were averaging 6 points per game. And my goodness, I'm watching Keelan Cole that was cut by the Jags. And of course, everyone's favorite, Corey Davis going deep.
Yeah, you'd think you'd be able to stop Corey Davis, since you've been watching him for 4 years. And I texted a buddy that was watching the game that it was just unbelievable. Corey Davis did more on Sunday than he has in the previous 4 years with the Titans. Again, though, injuries. I mean, we had 3 starters out in the secondary. Not including the line or the linebackers. Injury riddled, you still should have been able to stop these guys. It's not an excuse. I'm just laying it out there of how beat up they are. You can't give up this pass where Zach Wilson's just telling Corey Davis to run and he's just chucking it up to him. I don't have words for it.
Bad loss, really bad loss.
Yeah. I got nothing else. Do y'all have anything else that you want to add?
Everybody from top to bottom, from coach to management to players, have to give themselves a gut check here, and they've got to figure this out. This can't be a regular occurrence. We can't keep playing down to our competition. We just can't.
Tannehill's been sacked 17 times.
Oof. Enough said.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, we can transition to the Jaguars. This is another offensive line that work in process. I'd say, amazingly, their rookie quarterback is throwing the ball away and getting the ball out on time, which I believe is helping the statistics here with the Jacksonville Jaguars offensive line. They actually went up to Cincinnati and and looked pretty good on Thursday Night Football. I don't think there's any shame in the way they played and losing that game.
Laviska Shenault, we touched on this in the preview. Laviska Shenault was awesome. Top-rated player for PFF for them. James Robinson, go figure. They gave him the ball 18 times for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns. They should have won this game. This will be the one good thing I will say about Urban Meyer on this podcast and podcast previously and going forward. The call to go for it at the end of the first half was correct, in my opinion, to go for the touchdown instead of the field goal. I know hindsight's 2020, and people were talking 17-0 and 21-0, and that game is over.
Totally agree. Hey, this is a much better played game. They ran the ball a little bit with Robinson, like you said. Trevor Lawrence protected the ball. He didn't do anything to hurt the team there. But ultimately, Joe Burrow, he's just a winner, in my opinion. I keep saying that. I just like watching old Joey football play. He just gets the job done. It isn't always pretty, but in the end, he did it.
In the second half, Joe Burrow was a machine.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence has been down by 14 points and lost 2 times his entire football career. Both times, Joey football.
That's unbelievable, man. Because the Jaguars defense, I'm not going to say is good. I'm not even good. But going into the half at 14-0 and shutting out everything that the Cincinnati Bengals wanted to do was impressive. What I've learned over reading and listening was Cincinnati, their coaching staff, believe it or not, had the ability to make some adjustments. So they switched up what they were doing on offense, and Jacksonville had absolutely no answer. I believe it was 4 second-half possessions for Cincinnati, and all of them equal points.
Yeah, it's all true. Go for it there, Parker.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's hard when I can't see it. The play calling, this is where I'll start going down the Urban Meyer train. What the hell is he doing running Trevor Lawrence with read options up the middle like 10 times in the game?
College mindset.
It's college. It's a college play. He's not playing against 3-star guys from South Carolina. He's going to get Trevor Lawrence killed.
Yeah. He's going up against 300-pound linebackers.
Yeah, every now and then, I get it. He's fast, gets some first downs. He's not like Lamar Jackson where he evades hits. Yes, do it every now and then, but my God, it felt like it was every single third down. He had to run that at least 10 times.
Well, I believe there's some hope, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Because, you know what? Because after the game, I believe I saw some video of Urban Meyer taking some snaps under center.
Man.
So he's trying this out, and he will.
Look, man, it is a shame.
We got to talk about the off-field stuff, but I don't really want to, but we're going to.
I know. All right, well, here we go, because it's really a shame that we're even having to have this conversation that's not about anything that happened on the field. That's taking away from what was, quite honestly, probably their best performance as far as a team effort. And now it has to be overshadowed by Urban Meyer's off-the-field antics. I mean, I know Parker is very, shall I say, down on Urban Meyer as a human being. But and things like this, there's no reason not to think otherwise, other than the fact that he's just a scumbag, quite frankly.
Urban is who we think Urban Meyer is. He did the things in Florida, did the things in Ohio State. He did the things at Jacksonville, trying to hire all these other people. But let's forget that. Let's say he comes into Jacksonville perfectly. He gets there. There's all the speculation. Is he going to be hired? Not. Then he hires a coach who made all these racist remarks. Then this guy gets fired. Then he brings in Tebow, who hasn't played in 6 years and changes into a different position. Then he gets fired. Then he gets fined for practice violations. Then they release Tebow. Then he won't name the starting quarterback, although we all know who it is. This is unbelievable. Like, it's rare that things go exactly like we thought they were going to go, and this is just going exactly like I thought it was going to go. He is not a good person, and honest to God, I don't care what he does. He'd go out and fill up somebody. She's cute. Go for it. Like, go do whatever you want to do. I honest to God don't care about that. What I care about is your team flew back home. You didn't go fly back home with your team. Instead, you went, changed shirts. He has an Ohio State sweater on and goes out partying. Nick Saban joined Monday Night Football with Peyton and them last week. And he took a pause. He did it from his office while he was sitting there studying. You are 0-4. Are you so good that you don't want to go back home? You want to go back. Hey, he wants to be loved. He puts his Ohio State stuff on and goes out to a bar. This is unbelievable. I hear people daily, and I swear to God I never hear it again, talk about Taylor Lewan and his podcast. Taylor doesn't even do the podcast during the season. This is and he's a player. This is during the season. You're the coach, and you are going out to a bar, like partying it up. It is unexcusable to me. And if I know they've come out with a statement about how the owner has come out and said that how he has to earn back his respect.
A public reprimand. Yep.
My prediction on this is Urban is either going to quit this week, or the team is going to quit on him on Sunday. They're going to lose by 40 to the Titans, and he's going to quit afterwards.
So,
one of the two is going to happen.
Yeah. So, Bradley, my question for you is: this the beginning of the end for Urban Meyer?
I mean, is this the beginning, or is this just the continuation, like Parker said? The beginning of the end could have been a long time ago with some decisions that he's already made. I will correct one thing. Urban Meyer was not at a bar. His restaurant called the Urban Meyer Pint House. He was sitting at a
bar stool.
Yeah,
but I didn't want it to come across as he just went into some random club or bar.
It's even worse because it's his. Everybody knows who he is, and he's grinding on people in his restaurant. It's not even some random place. It's his restaurant. It's insanity.
Yeah, it's definitely a bad look. Blake, I think with the age of social media, by God, if this happened in the 70s, 80s, even early 90s, we would have never known about it, right?
No, but that doesn't make it right.
Well, no, I'm not saying that, but we're not trying to be the moral police here. We're just saying we would have never known and just gone on to the next game.
No, absolutely. But as you said, it's not a good look. And it is, I think, what people would call in the industry conduct unbecoming. And I think it's just further proof that he's not cut out for this job. He's not ready for it. I don't think he ever was. I don't think he was fit for the job. And quite frankly, I'm with Parker. I think Urban Meyer's a scumbag. So I don't think he's the face that the organization, the Jaguars organization, wants to put in front of everybody. And I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here in the coming weeks.
Here, I've got a quote before we move on. This is from the face of the Jacksonville Jaguars, owner Shad Khan.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, "I have addressed this matter with Urban. Specifics of our conversation will be held in confidence. What I will say is his conduct last weekend was inexcusable. I appreciate Urban's remorse, which I believe is sincere. Now he must regain our trust and respect. That will require a personal commitment from Urban to everyone who supports, represents, or plays for our organization. I'm confident he will deliver." That's a big leap of faith, but Shad Khan is all over this. He will not, just like he got rid of Coughlin, he will not let this go too far.
I hope not. I really do.
With the owner saying a head coach that's 0-4 has to regain our trust and respect after everything they went through with Coughlin, I don't understand how he's still the coach. There's some more quotes coming out from players inside because they're fed up with it. Coming out from very reputable Sports Illustrated reporter from a player inside, quote, he has zero credibility in the stadium. He had very little to begin with. He even canceled the team meeting for Monday. He was too scared. That is from a player. One player said that he apologized to position groups individually and said he portrayed the woman in the videos as some random person who was just there dancing. By the way, since he has said that, a second video has come out where it is obvious that that's not what happened. And then the player said, when he said he was dancing, we looked at him like, what the F? Right when he left, we all started dying laughing, and he knew it. It's bad. I don't know how he's going to function. All from players.
Guys, this just in, Daddy officially has a feeling. And it is not going to be positive for Urban Meyer. I'm going to say within the next 3 weeks, Urban Meyer will no longer be the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm going to say by Monday.
Dude, I could, as amazing as that sounds, with Daddy's got a feeling, it could come true. And what would be amazing on the back end of this, Parker, is we're looking at an organization that what they would turn to is a man by the name of Charlie Strong. Charlie Strong's story is crazy at where he's been and what he could be thrust into as the interim head coach of a professional football team. But that's where it would have to go in the interim time.
Which would be, Charlie Strong, there was a time there where he was the hottest name in coaching when he went from Louisville to Texas, which I know he didn't do well at, but I think we know Charlie Strong's a man of character, which again, I think he is. That we don't really care. I don't really care about that. My point about it on Urban is he pretends to be, and then he tells players that, hey, he was just dancing. And then an hour later, videos come out where he's under center. So that may not be a bad way to go, honestly. You don't have any tape on him on what he's going to do. It would change the culture. I think players would be behind it because just from that reporting I was going through, it sounds like they are out. And these aren't college players. These are grown men.
Yeah. We will see. I guess we get to watch it firsthand. We got Titans, Jags.
Man, it'll be interesting.
Stories all over the place. But we'll move on. What did we have next? We had a little game of Seattle visiting San Francisco with Russell Wilson in a spot where he's not used to losing multiple games in a row. Jimmy G, Parker, gets hurt again, and San Francisco, just the injury bug keeps showing up. Trey Lance comes in and throws a touchdown.
Yeah, we called this. It's just the trend was too much for it to not be on Seattle, even though San Francisco is a good team and they started up. This injury situation's unbelievable. And I felt sorry for Jimmy G afterwards. They asked him like, "Hey man, what about you? What about these injuries you keep getting?" And he's like, "I'm just tired of it. He's not trying to get hurt, and he's good as a starting quarterback for them. I don't have the stat in front of me, but he's like 28-7. Something crazy. But this is, I think we're going to see Trey Lance for the next few weeks, which is, I think, going to be super fun.
Yeah, it is so unfortunate. You look at the 49ers the last 2 seasons. Good grief. I don't know what they're putting in the water down there, but keep it away from me. But nonetheless, I think, how many of us, I think I picked Seattle. Who else picked Seattle between the 3 of us? All 3 of us.
We all do.
We all picked Seattle. Yeah, we all had that feeling that Russell Wilson just wasn't going to come down here and lay down for anybody. So, honestly, this was a pretty good game for me to look at and say that that division out there it's just a strong division.
Yeah, another strong division is the NFC West, and we had a showdown of the 3-0 Arizona Cardinals at 3-0 LA Rams. Kyler Murray and company go in there and smack them around, Parker. 37-20 Cardinals.
Yeah, they looked great. I mean, what can you say? Cardinals looked amazing. Kyler, big team on his back. They finally had a run game. Chase Edmonds had over 120 yards on like 12 carries. But they just got up. I think if Rams got up, you could have ran it down the Cardinals' throat. Henderson had a good game. They continued to play well.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, Daddy did have a feeling, and that's an interesting point before I throw it to you, Blake. Parker just said, Cardinals got up, and that proves my point that Matt Stafford cannot bring a team back on his own. He is a system quarterback. He couldn't bring them back, man. Go ahead, Blake.
Well, hey, there's nothing for me to say about that. I mean, you may be right there, but I know that Kyler Murray likes to start fast. And, I mean, golly, they have 24 points in the first half. Golly. Yeah, Daddy had a feeling. That's all I got to say. Somebody out there is getting rich off of my picks.
Ooh. Parker, any concerns with Stafford, or is it just
it's NFL? I think it's one game. It's NFL. I mean, Stafford played well. He had more passing yards than Kyler and the same amount of touchdowns. They shut down Cooper Kupp, who's been a top 3 receiver, actually the top 1 receiver all year round. Van Jefferson led them off of receptions. I think it's just as much as Cliff Kingsbury seems to be an idiot over at the Cardinals world, that it's working out for him this year. So yeah, I mean, more power to them. I do think they're off. I do not think they're this good, though. I will say that.
I think we all had them 4th, and we were joking in that NFC West preview show that they would win the East. They would be a playoff team in any other division, but they're trying to put themselves right here. It literally may be all 4 teams get in, or maybe too many injuries in San Francisco. Maybe they have the odd team up.
That could be the determining factor.
Did anybody see the Ravens, instead of taking a knee, they wanted to run one more play so they could have over 100 rushing yards?
I didn't, but I mean, I heard about that. And that just seems so petty, but hey. These are grown
I saw it. I didn't really care. I saw different opinions on this. Some people were like, "You, the advocate of the game, you shouldn't need it." But other people are saying, "Hey, it's not college. It's not high school, man. Stop them. Yep. You don't want them to do it.
You're professionals. You got to play the entire time."
I agree. All these men get paid, but Harbaugh's been under so much scrutiny about preseason, and he's got injuries all over the place. And he's like, "Hey, let's get this meaningless streak, keep it going. And guess what? I want to run Lamar Jackson, for goodness sakes."
Yeah, but here's why I don't think it is meaningless. I think he doesn't give a crap, but the locker room cares. So as much as Urban's losing the locker room, I think Harbaugh's trying to rally them, partially because of the injuries. I think it's something that they obviously care about, because until this happened, a stat, I've never even heard of it. I think it was more for the locker room, but you're right. He loses credibility on safety. If he comes out about player safety for the rest of his career, if I'm a reporter standing in front of him after a game, I'm asking that question.
Fair enough.
Yep. We had Tom Brady going back to Foxborough. Sunday Night Football. It was in the rain, so it took away a little bit of the offensive fireworks, if you will, but it's still fun. 19-7, Tom Brady gets it done again.
Yeah, I mean, like I said in the prediction show, Tom Brady's a very prideful guy. I know he may not have ever publicly admitted it, but he really wanted this one for sure. But yeah, I mean, as much as we were talking about Tom Brady, I think it really kind of comes down to more about the Bucs defense. I mean, holding the Patriots to -1 rushing yards. Goodness gracious.
The Bucs defense rushing is incredible. Best in the league. But they have real concerns at corner. They're hurt. They've got old man over there off the street now. Starting for them is their best safety. And I got to say this, fellas. Bill Belichick lost this game. the go for it at the end for the 57-yard field goal with Nick Folk in the rain when Mac Jones slashed the 3 previous drives had been dinking and dunking and moving it up. Even if he makes that field goal, Tom Brady gets the ball back with timeouts and 50 seconds on the clock. I just think you got to take off more time. You got to kick that with it expiring, or you got to move down the score.
Yeah, we knew it was coming. I was kind of hoping that the field goal went in so we could see the Tom Brady thing happen.
I thought it was going to just for that. It was just a Hollywood ending.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, nothing else really stands out. I mean, we had the Giants get a victory, Daniel Jones passing for 402 yards, the Chiefs avoid going 1-3. Anybody care about the Colts? Does any of that spark any interest?
No, it just sucks for the Titans to not be able to finish off the Jets, and then the Colts get the win, and now from going up for 3 to 4 games to now being a game up.
Yep.
I mean, does this mean that if the Jags beat the Titans, that the Jags are tied for first?
Wow.
I hope to God that they don't fire Urban, because I honest to God think that they're just going to quit. I really do. But if they fire him before the game, I think that they might light that locker room up, and it scares the crap out of me.
Yep, I totally agree.
So I really hope it's just a thumping from the Titans and they get rid of him, because they fire him before him. I think it's a real possibility that you win that game.
Totally.
Yeah, we will have our thoughts and predictions coming up later this week. But that's all I had, Blake.
Yeah, guys, thanks for joining us again on an NFL reaction show. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at DDS Sports Talk. Follow our YouTube channel, subscribe, like, hit the thumbs up button for notifications, or hit the notification bell for notifications. Leave us some comments there. Tell me what you think about Tom Brady beating old Billy Boy. And was the Titans' loss against the Jets, was that the worst loss of the week? Man, any parting thoughts, guys? Guess not. All right, guys.
And my final thought, my fantasy team's taking out Parker's fantasy team this week.
There's no chance in hell.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's all get back to it. You guys be well.